Well, when we have the trailer loaded up on the truck, you know what is happening today. We are picking up a new car. Look at how freaking disgusting this truck is. Bobby and I took it out to Wyoming and Montana like a week ago and went mudding, and I haven't washed it yet. So we have about an hour drive this morning to go pick up this new car. Now this is going to be a very, very, very quick rebuild. If I end up getting the car, it's going to be the world's quickest turnaround on a car, at least for me. All right guys, just made the trek. This driveway is pretty intense, so I'm parking the truck and trailer and I'm gonna walk up. All right, after hiking up this hill, here we have a silver STI. Look at this freaking thing, man. I'm terrible at trying to pretend. A lot of you guys know this car. This is mine. I'm not buying a new car, I'm just retrieving a car. Oh, yep, still stinks like it did before. So this is gonna be very interesting because I need to get the car down the hill. There is no clutch. The clutch, I don't know if the slave is seized up or what exactly is going on there. And I need to get it loaded in the trailer with no clutch and no brakes. So no clutch, no brakes. I do got a working e-brake. And of course the battery's dead, so I brought the jump pack. But I'm just gonna coast it down the hill for now. I got a better idea. I don't even need to start the car. I'm gonna flip the truck and trailer around, put it down the hill, just coast right from Val's driveway, right into the back of the trailer, load it up, we'll be done. All right, so we're gonna rip it down this hill, hook this left-hand turn. We really got one shot at this and try to yeet her right into the back of the trailer. Let's hope no one comes down the hill or up the hill, and let's hope I can make it into the trailer and not the side of the wall. Easy enough. Old girl is loaded. Let's head on back to the shop. All right guys, so here is the deal. Here's the scoop. Maybe a week ago, we gave away Gary, which was Bobby's 2019 STI, the Series Gray STI. The winner of that car happened to be someone who previously won a car about a year ago. His name is Sam. He won the wide body FRS, the blue camo FRS that I gave away about a year ago. And while everything was within the guidelines and the rules of the car giveaways that I do, it still just felt odd that Sam was taking home 2 cars. So I talked to Sam. I tried to offer him as much money as he wanted for the car. He wanted the car. He did not want any sort of money I offered him. He would not take, which is understandable. He is a big fan of the channel. He's seen the car built from day one, and he really wanted the car. So now, while everything was within the guidelines, within the rules of the sweepstakes, I still wanted to give back and give you guys another chance to win a different car. So I'm giving away this 05 STI that I have. I've had it for maybe 4 months, haven't touched it, and it's been sitting up at Val's place. So I decided I'm gonna grab the car. I'm gonna do like a quick refresh on the car. It's gonna get a brand new motor. I haven't decided if it's going to be painted or wrapped yet. The paint on it's not terrible, but it's a silver STI. Not my favorite color in the world, so I think I'll probably wrap it and just do a nice quick rebuild on it. Now, there's no way for you guys, if you didn't enter the 2019 STI giveaway, there's no way to get entered in on this. I'm just giving this car away to the people that were entered on the 2019 STI giveaway, just as like a second chance type of ordeal. So I'm very, very happy and lucky and I guess blessed that I'm in the position to just grab another car and give it away willy-nilly, free. Like, I'm not getting any extra money. I'm not getting anything else out of it. But I just wanted to give back to the people who have supported the channel since day one, which is you guys. You guys have been here literally since the start of the channel. This car that I'm gonna be building is a lot of people's dream car. To be honest, I do prefer the 04 to 07, the GD chassis over the VAs. I freaking love how they look. They drive amazing. They're much more raw feeling. It's kind of like an Evo 8 versus Evo 10. Over the next week or so, this car will most likely be getting a brand new motor because it smokes really bad. It needs the brakes fixed. It needs the clutch fixed. Exterior wise, it's gonna look really, really nice. And then at the end of it, I'll be going live again, just like I did with the 2019 STI, and picking one of you guys to take this thing home. So I made it back to the shop. You guys probably hear that knocking. Well, that's just a good old Subaru running. Can you guys even see the Subaru underneath all the smoke? It smokes out the front. It's got a pretty obvious rod knock. And of course, she's smoking out the bum as well. You want to see something funny? Watch this. All right, enough honkying around. You know what? Actually, let's do some more honkying around. Let's go on a drive. So to actually get this thing moving, we need to shut it off, put it in first gear, apply the jump pack so we have power because the battery's dead. It'll crank, and as we're cranking, it's going to be moving the car because the clutch is, I don't know what's going on with the clutch. It don't work. But then she'll be in first gear, and we can go rip it around the block. Sound like a plan? All right. Let's do first gear. I don't think we're going to be able to shift. Okay, here we go. Hopefully you don't die. I got people in front of me, behind me. Let's see if we can get her in second gear. Nope. Jump in! I don't have a clutch or brakes, hop in.
Did you drive this back?
No, oh. There's no way. This thing's quality. I know, I don't know what's going on. It smokes from everywhere. Should we see if we're gonna whip some bros?
Yes. Do the seatbelt.
Oh, I don't got a clutch, so I don't know how this is gonna work. I need a bigger parking lot.
Can't even see. Can you lock the...
There's no, this thing ain't got no power, dude.
Well,
That was a good jump.
Wasn't mirror to the hood just fly open?
It flew open. Shit, it died.
I think you successfully burned the rings out of that thing. Yeah.
That works. Alrighty guys, we got the car in the shop. We need to get to work if we're gonna get this thing built in a week. Step one, I'm gonna start off with pressure washing the engine bay. I wasn't gonna do this, but man, this thing is freaking disgusting. So let's give her a quick degrease pressure wash. Get the car up on the lift. We gotta yank the motor out today. I need to figure out what's going on with the motor, why it smokes so bad, and what is making noise. Presumably a rod knock, so it's probably just gonna be a brand new motor that's going in the car, but I could be wrong. I've been wrong before. Degreaser of choice, as always, is Super Clean. That bottle down there, Super Clean. Get it fully saturated, let it soak in for a minute, pressure wash it off, and it'll be looking brand new. All right, let's call that a day. Now, of course, when I get the motor out, I'll do a real good detail in cleaning on the bay with the motor out just to make it perfect, but that'll make it a little bit easier and less disgusting to work on. This car actually has quite a few good mods, and I know it doesn't look like much, but it does have a freaking brand new set of BC coilovers. It's already got a full exhaust, NVIDIA downpipe, NVIDIA N1 catback, all of the Mishimoto silicone hoses and whatnot, Mishimoto radiator. It's got some good goodies on it. HKS BOV. Should be a nice little car within the next week. The most confusing thing about this car is why did somebody put Pontiac G6 wheels? I think that's what they are. Pontiac G6 wheels on it. Freaking hideous, man. I'm really curious to see what all is wrong with this motor and or turbo. It's confusing and a little silly. It has a rod knock and smokes out all the freaking oil, burns out all the oil. Nice little stream of oil coming out of the turbski and out of the throttle body. First look underneath the car. Yeah, she's pretty wet. Looks like it's got a couple different leaks going on. All right, let's do the fun part. Drain the oil. If there is any oil, if it didn't already all burn out. To my surprise, I'm not really seeing any sort of metal shavings in the oil. which I guess is a good sign. I don't really care if this motor is rod knocked from a engine perspective, but I do care if it's rod knocked from accessory, I guess you could say, perspective. Because if there's metal in the oil, anything that the oil goes through has to be replaced. That includes cam gears, like stuff you wouldn't normally replace with a rebuilt engine. Cam gears, the turbocharger has to be replaced. Oil pump, oil pan. Some people replace oil lines. I think it's a little bit excessive, but it costs a lot more money if it is indeed rod knocked with metal shavings in the oil. I have the coolant draining now. So while I'm down here, I'm gonna pull the down pipe and motor mount nuts off. Now, if there's no refrigerant in the system, it'll make life easier now because we just have to disconnect that line and that line, leave the compressor on the motor. But then that'll make it more difficult later because that means there's a leak. And there's none, so there's a leak. Everything is removed to get the motor out. There's not much on a Subaru. I know I've showed you guys this before, but we have a downpipe, intercooler, starter, airbox, battery, radiator, clutch slave has to come off, bell housing bolts, 2 motor mount nuts, and now this guy gets yeeted on out of here. Y'all ever had that happen before? Holy smokes. Bolt just ripped threads out of the intake manifold. That's hairy. Imagine that happens when the motor is like this high. Well, there she is, my friends. Motor is out of the car. Looks like this thing has about 800 different oil leaks. Let's get it on the stand and start tearing into it. Prime example of why missing parts causes massive issues. There's a cover that is supposed to be sitting right there. You see that hole? Cover's missing. And the reason the clutch doesn't work, the clutch disc itself is rusted onto the flywheel. The clutch appears to be in freaking fantastic condition, but condensation and water got in here as the car sat, rusted it all together. So now we're gonna remove the following: turbocharger, up pipe, exhaust manifold, intake manifold with all the wiring, power steering pump, alternator, AC compressor, and we will have a bare long block. Down to a bare short block, long block. I find it exhilarating the amount of oil coming out of the turbo. Now, I wouldn't say that necessarily means this turbo is smoked, because if you take a look, clearly this thing's got a fair share of oil coming right out of, what would that be? 2 and 4, cylinder 2 and 4. Nonetheless, let's pull the timing cover, all the timing components, get the heads off and take a look at what's going on. I'm assuming it's got the very common ringland failure. That's my assumption. Are y'all seeing what I'm seeing? So when I bought this car, The seller told me it had a brand new short block. And I was like, I got it, and I was like, there's no way. But based off this look right here, how clean the cases are, the block itself, he may have been telling the truth. There's no way it's an original block. Look at the difference. That looks like factory OEM, like new freaking Subaru color. Regardless, it doesn't matter. Let's pop the heads. The more I go, the more I know that this actually is a new short block, freshly rebuilt motor. I know it's dirty because it sat outside for so freaking long. So now it's more of a game of like, okay, what did they do wrong? All the timing components were freaking brand new. Belt still had all the markings on it, meaning that it's not all that worn. So what did they do wrong with their brand new motor? ARP head studs. They even upgraded some goodies. Watch this thing be built. So I'm opting to pull the side that is suspected to be toast, which is the driver's side. All right, here goes nothing, my friends. Yeah, well, holy crap. Now, I'm not no expert, but I'm struggling to figure out what caused this. It's literally a 100% stock car. It looks like a melted piston, but it almost also looks like something was left in this cylinder and just bounced around. I don't know. What do you guys think? Is that the failure of, say, a bad injector and the piston melts? Or is that the failure of something being left in the cylinder and bouncing around? Looks a little bit of both. I don't know, it's hard to say. But it indeed, 100%, is a new short block. They just messed up a little bit. I'm actually kind of excited to see that. I think all the bearings were probably fine, which means everything in the oiling system doesn't need to be replaced like it would have been, like we were talking about earlier. The head should be fine. I'm gonna have those rebuilt. Before I speak more, let's go ahead and pop the head off. Passenger side head, cylinders 1 and 3, look great. I kind of want to pull that piston out and see what's going on. Maybe get a better idea of what happened. So I got the piston out of the motor. Here's how it looks. Now here's my assumption and speculation. I could be way off on this, but this is what I'm assuming. Based off of how new this motor is, this is what I'm guessing happened. The seller had a shop put the motor in, or maybe he put it in himself, probably fired it up, probably had a misfire, and probably just ignored that cylinder. What cylinder was that? Cylinder 2? Ignored that cylinder 2 misfire, and then it melted down the piston. It could be very, very likely that we put this thing back together and it still has that misfire. It could be a bad or a clogged injector, maybe some wiring issues. We don't know. But what I'm assuming is what I just said. It could be way off. It looks like it just melted down from a non-firing injector or a dirty injector. But yeah, motor's torn down and we need a new motor, of course. Unfortunately, I need parts to get this thing back together. So in the meantime, let's go through. All the parts for this build need to be cleaned up. Heads need to be dropped off at a machine shop. And we need to clean up the engine bay and underside of this car because it is filthy. Couple hours later, the car is all cleaned up. Underside's all cleaned up, engine bay's all cleaned up, and all these parts over here clean and ready to go. I might recoat this manifold. It's got like some really cheap just rattle can spray paint on it. Does not look good whatsoever. And being a Subaru, the manifold right dead center on top of the motor, it's kind of like the most important thing, most crucial thing to look proper. So I might redo that. Nonetheless, that's a wrap on the day. Hope you guys enjoyed. Great progress, and we got a few days left to get this car done. Goodbye.